So in this video, we're going to look at themes. So you can do Shift and theme, as you can probably guess, and you can choose the option here, theme. And this pops up a list of the themes that are currently installed. And this is actually really nice because I can actually just use the up and down arrows to switch between them, and it will change them on the fly. So heads up, the next one down is a light mode, so this might be a bit blinding, but if I go down, it's updated it straight away. So I can flick through these and look through the different themes to decide which I like best. And you can see here this one dark one, if I just hover over that. So that's actually a theme that's been installed as a separate plugin, not built in. And if I go to get more themes, we can see that this is gone to the settings plugins, which we saw in the last video. But we've got a filter, it's tagged by themes. So themes are a type of plugin. So you can see that we are in the marketplace and I can then look at these different themes. Most of the themes will have a preview button, and if you click on it, it will make it full screen. So you can click through and have a quick look before you install it. If I go back to the themes here, so appearance, and you've got the themes, I actually just really like the default dark one that's built in. As well as themes, you've got a concept of the editor color scheme. So if we go down here, let me just move that across a bit, and editor. So we've got color scheme here. And if I expand that out and go to general, then there's a few different schemes here. So obviously Rider Dark Done is a custom one. So let me just delete that one so we can start again. So if I start with the dark one, and obviously you would typically use a light color scheme if you're using a light theme, then I can go to various different options like identifier under the caret or the line number. There's lots of different things you can customize, and you can change the colors and add effects and things and background and different things depending on whether the thing you've got selected supports. Like a line number, it doesn't make sense to have a background, but some of these things will. In a bit, I'll show you a tip for finding which one of these many things is what you're actually looking for. In fact, no, let's do that now. So if I escape this and go to some code, let's go to anything. And then if I put the cursor onto something, some kind of symbol, whether it's a class name or a method name, and I do Shift, and I type jump to colors and fonts, then because this is an extension method, it's given me that option. So that was the identifier under the caret, which isn't what we want. We want to change the method to the extension method. If I click on that, it's going to take me straight to this in that setting view. So that's a great way of discovering which one of these many options corresponds with the thing you want to change when you're looking at your code. If we go back to the settings and go to color scheme font, so another thing you'll probably want to do when customizing Rider is choose your own code font. So this is worth pointing out that you've got up here another font. So this is kind of like a global font choice. With a color scheme, as you've seen, I've still got done because I didn't save before, but we can save it as a scheme. So I can just take the Rider Dark one, which is what I did. And then I can click this and say duplicate, and then I can make my changes. It is recommended that if you're going to make changes, then just duplicate it and give it a name, like I've done with Rider Dark Done. So that information, including the font choice, if this is ticked, will be saved as part of that color scheme. In the Rider documentation, it does recommend that if you're going to be sharing your color scheme, to not override the font, just in case the other person doesn't have the particular font you're using. So in that case, you can just go to here and globally set your font. Or if the color scheme is just for you, you can set the font here and tick this and use that one here. I actually quite like Cascadia code, so I use that one. And you've also got this option, enable ligatures. So what that does, I don't think Cascadia code supports it. Let's just try it. So it does for some. So see how that's made it a single character when I did greater than or equal to. Then that's called a ligature. So that's what that setting does. So if I do that and turn it off, that's not working because I've accidentally clicked on console font instead. Let's go to color scheme font, which is what I wanted. So if I tick that and disable it, then we can see that that's two separate characters now. I was surprised that double equals hasn't become a ligature. So if I turn that back on again, so maybe in this font, double equals doesn't work. If I change this to Fira code, which has very good support for ligature, then we can see that's become a single character. So that's what ligatures does. So this does show a limited set. So my Cascadia code is gone. So I can go back to font and change it back here. And we can see that the current editor font is this one. Speaking of fonts, sometimes if you're here and you want to know what font we're currently dealing with, in the same way as we did that thing before where we found out what color scheme a certain thing was, I can do the same to find out what the font is. So I can do Shift and type show fonts used by editor, and then it pops up and tells you what that font is. So as you can see, there's many ways to customize your font, your color schemes. In the previous videos, we've looked at plugins to do customizations. We've also looked at various different settings to tweak different menu items and the way the toolbars and things are displayed. So basically the choice is yours. You can leave it as the default and just code, or you can go to town and completely customize Rider however you see fit. In the next module, we're going to be looking at how we can use JetBrains tooling to collaborate remotely whilst coding.